Okay.
Hi everybody, I'm Tracy Patton.
And I'm Kathy Ryan.
And this is Women 2018. The adventure just keeps on going.
Oh, and it's fabulous.
And we are here in District 20. Well, let me first say, we have been interviewing women across the country who are running for political office for the first time. And it is a very important historic moment.
Very, very important.
Right. And before we get into our interview, we want to congratulate, we're so excited, aren't we, Mom?
Yes.
Congratulate all the women
winners
who have won their primaries. Congrats to all of you, and congrats to the women that are about to win their primaries.
Yeah.
So on that note, we are here in District 20 in Miramar, Florida, where Sheila Cherfilus, I practice that a lot, McCormick is running for Congress. So Sheila, come join us.
Come and join us. Hello.
Good to have you here. So you are a longtime resident of District 20.
Yes, I am. I've been here since I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow. So tell us what you love about the district.
I love the diversity. I love the small businesses. I love how we can all mix and mingle and have our own businesses with our own culture and still promote the family atmosphere and develop our industries.
Yeah. Yes. And let's talk about your family. Your parents are Haitian?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, both of my parents are Haitian. I'm first generation American, and I feel like being in my district, I'm able to be American and Haitian at the same time.
That's so
and celebrating my culture. But more importantly, we have a diverse culture all around where we can all celebrate each other. So it's been very important in my running that we can enjoy everything. Yeah. My husband's also American. He's from North Carolina. So it's enjoyable that we can celebrate everyone and all be Americans,
absolutely.
You know, in the United States, sharing the same culture as American without any differences. Because being from Florida, you don't feel like there's any kind of division.
Yes.
Everybody's one person or one people.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right, and so it's so enjoyable to live like that every day that I think that's one of the beauties of our district.
And so how fortunate you are to live here in this immigrant community.
Yes, yes.
And you have a daughter. Tell us about your daughter.
I do have a daughter. I actually have a daughter and a son. My daughter is 15. She just turned 15 yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And my son is 14. My daughter was diagnosed with a learning disability when she was younger. And it was actually very difficult for me, especially as a young mother.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
When I didn't know the resources, how to get them. In the school, we didn't know what to do for her either. So I spent a lot of time actually researching and figuring out, how do I attack this? How do I make it work for us and our family? And as I went through the process, I realized that there's a gap when it comes to healthcare and when it comes to actually letting people know what they have options to and access to.
Yes.
And that became one of my platform issues, is that I don't want any other mother to have to go through that. When you're trying to work, you're trying to take care of your child, and you're knocking on every door trying to find resources. It should be streamlined, where if our children have any kind of learning disability, any kind of issue, that you know where to find the resources, where we can actually, you know, how to handle every single day. You know, if we look at anything in life, there's always like a streamline or a main way for us to access information, and it shouldn't be any different when it comes to healthcare, mental illness, and our children.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, kind of switching gears a little bit here. You and I talked a couple weeks ago about a really interesting business dinner you went to, and all these women were discussing, they were from all over the world. I'll let you explain what that was.
So probably right after Christmas, we were at a dinner, and they had a lot of other women who owned healthcare agencies throughout the whole country. And we also had a few international people who were there, and it was like a lot of men. And at the table, we were sitting there talking about, what do you guys think about women who are daring to run right now? And why is it that in the United States, we haven't seen more women running? And one of the men who was African said something interesting. He said, well, the reason why we don't have that in the U.S. is because women don't believe in the United States they can run men. And initially, we all were like, what? Yes, we do believe we can run. What do you mean? And then after a while, I sat back and I thought about it. I said, well, maybe that is the real underpinning, that we don't believe it. Because the truth is, there's never been anything that a woman has determined or said she was going to do that she hasn't accomplished with great victory. So I looked at it, and even when I was thinking about running, my initial feeling was, I asked my husband, I said, you should run. And he's like, no, you should. I said, that goes back to why do I believe or why do we think that it's men who run first?
Yes,
Yes.
Right.
Good for your husband. Sounds like
Yeah,
a good
bravo. Because there are actually, we've talked about the fact that there are a lot of really amazing men that are encouraging all the women
Yes.
that are,
Really.
many of the women that are running. Which brings us to the big question.
Yes.
You are now running for Congress.
Yes.
And describe the moment that moments that you decided to run.
Well, it was more of a calling. I was starting to get disenchanted, upset about what was going on.
Yeah.
And I would, talk to other people. You guys should do this. You guys should do this. And everybody's looking at me like, maybe you should. And then one day in my frustration, I felt like I was being called. I couldn't sleep that night. I just kept on boiling over what needs to be done and how they should do it. I have all these solutions. And then my husband's like, well, you're always going over to Congress and lobbying about healthcare, advocating about healthcare and Medicaid and the patients. Why not just take them on a broader level? And that convicted me, because it brought me back to that. Well, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I say, okay, I can do this on a bigger scale? I think it was the fear of that it hasn't been done. There hasn't been a blueprint. And that conviction, it came over me. And I said, well, you know what? This is the time for me to create it. Mm-hmm. I'll create the blueprint. I'll go forward and make it happen so other women who are running know where the resources lie, how to do it, who to call upon. And we can start cultivating that network for every woman who's going to run after me. And
very, very important. Yeah.
Sheila, in addition to just describing the moment that you decided to run, what does it feel like?
It's interesting. It's a lot of fun when you get to talk to the constituents.
Yeah.
Being out there and talk to them is a lot of fun. In my district, I feel like there's been a gap. We don't have as many town halls as we used to. So we'll say, we're going to go canvassing, knocking on doors. We set out, 4 hours. When we get there, we're at one person's house for like an hour.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
And they invite you in and they tell you about their culture and your life. And so it gives you a different perspective, where you get to really feel community, where you get to really see them because they're inviting you into your house.
And the constituent feels like you really care.
Yes. So it kind of opened my eyes to what our real responsibility is.
Yeah.
The real responsibility is not just to be in Congress voting and passing laws, but to always keep that connectivity.
Yes.
One of the things I feel like now we have to do is create those connectivity moments where we can invite people over, where we can have picnics and integrate the whole family into the community.
Right.
So it's a great experience because we're actually going forward and creating the map, or going boldly through and rejecting the supposed way. Because some people have told me, well, you should wait your turn. There's other people who went before you, or other people who were in line. And I said, where's the line?
Well, good for you.
I didn't
That's
know.
great.
And I think that's a message from all the women running. Where's the line?
Right.
We don't see it.
Yeah,
right?
and I said, did this line take into consideration people like me, who had to raise family, who had to go to school? Where did the line start? Or did the line start when people who didn't have the responsibility of being moms can jump into it? If that's the case, then I will never be first in line.
Right.
And I think going forward, we have to be brave enough to dismantle all those fictitious stereotypes that are really put there so we can leave or not take the opportunities. Right now we have an opportunity. The women who are running, they saw it, they felt it. Part of being a business owner is that you have to understand time. When you feel it ticking inside, you have to act on it so you can actually go further. And I'm so proud to be running in a year where all the women felt it and did it.
Yes.
That's something when I come across them and we're actually there for debates, you can see the twinkle in their eye. Like you felt the call too. You saw it. And we acted on it.
Yes. And these women that we have interviewed, we found that they're all very busy women.
Yes.
They're not people sitting around going, oh, I don't have anything to do, I guess I'll run for office.
Yes.
No, they're extremely busy and extremely motivated like you.
Yes. We had to totally change our family dynamic.
We do,
in the sense that my husband had a conversation and he said, well, we're going to do this. And he's like, I'm going to get ready to be the first gentleman.
I love your husband.
I love it.
And so, it's funny because I always had problems with the kids actually doing their chores, but I guess because he's telling them, they're like, okay, we did our chores. I said, what? Everybody's doing their chores? So I don't know if we're going to go back from this because it seems like it's working.
Right.
Well, Sheila, one last question before we finish. What is the impact? We've talked about it, but what is the impact that all these women running and winning
absolutely
will have? What do you think that will be?
I think that the fallout from this event or all the women running, I think what's really going to do is open the door for everyone. Because people aren't seeing it as, oh, it's women, this is an opportunity for women. I think a lot of people are actually realizing that this is an opportunity for everybody who hasn't been represented.
Right.
If you look at it, the population versus how many leaders we have, there is a disproportionate number compared to the people who are the populace.
Yes, right.
And so when I meet people, they're like, okay, well, I would run, but I don't speak English well, or this and that. I said, no, you should run. I even had a woman who tells me, well, she's going through a divorce, and when she gets remarried, she'll run. And I was like, no. I said, why? She's like, oh, because I have to give the appearance. I said, there's no appearance. There's more people like you than people who fit the appearance.
Yes.
And that is what gives you connectivity with your constituents.
Yes. Well, speaking of impact, I know that your mom has had a big impact on you.
Yes.
And Sheila's mom just happens to
just
be
happened
here.
to walk
Marie,
by,
come
right?
join us. Just squeeze in here. We'll do a little huddle.
Yeah, right.
And so great to meet you, Mom. Are you the mom proud? You must be a very proud mom.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud of her because she's a very strong girl and she's very respectable and very intelligent.
Okay.
intelligent.
Well,
Yes,
spoken
absolutely.
from the expert, I would say, on Sheila. And if you want to know more about Sheila Cherfilus McCormick, did I get it right?
Almost Cherfilus.
Cherfilus
Yes,
McCormick. We'll say
Great
it
job.
many times. The Cherfilus, by the way, is a very important name because it represents the Haitian community.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Go to SheilaForCongress.com and please keep following us on women2018.org and across all those social media platforms. You guys know what they are. And one last thing.
Yeah, last thing.
Remember, you ready? Don't vent, vote. See you next time on the next adventure. Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye-bye.